No, one day all of a sudden I got a call from the daughter, Lalita, her name. She said, Prabhu, I'm coming to your home. And then I said, okay, no problem. She brought, a box of books. But I said, Mataji, we don't even have a big house here. Where am I going to keep those books? But I handpicked some books from there, some more books. And then I told her, go and give it to the temple. I think they came here. But for that book, I don't think we have it in our bookstore. And Satyananda Prabhu, just for you to know, he was one of the first pujari in the Hare Krishna Baram temple. First pujari that Srila Prabhupada assigned him. And I'm going to speak on this book today. Is a synopsis of chapter 8.5 to 8.15. And Prabhupada will answer the questions and answers in the end. And of course, if you have more questions and answers, we can still help you. If I can't, there are some senior devotees who can help you. So we'll start with the prayer. Jai Radha Madhava. to attend the Sunday Love Feast. So there's a lot of preparation in this lecture. I won't be able to give a short lecture. But if you have the patience to wait for the next 40 minutes, I think you will get a good synopsis of the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita today. And in the end, of course, questions and answers by Srila Prabhupada himself. There is no one better that could answer all these doubts, all these queries, all these inquiries that we all ourselves sometimes have. So I'll invoke some prayers and then we'll start. Om Bhagyana Thiramindasya Jnanam Jala Shalaka Chakshuramitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Istam Sthavinam Yena Bhutali Swam Rupa Gadavayam Tadati Svapadhatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustute Tattakam Chando Rangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shuman Sudhi Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhavya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Talo Jayamuriraye Nashtakayeshu Pratyeshu Jijam Bhavati Seva Bhavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishrati. Om Vishnu Padaya Shrimati Gopal Krishna Bosma Now Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasta Chadi Satani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasananyagamina Paramam Purusham Devyam Yati Param Chintayan Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetananyagamina Paramam Purusham Devyam Yati Padanu Chintayan Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasananyagamina Paramam Purusham Devyam Yati Padanu Chintayan
Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasananyagamina Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Padanu Chintayan
Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasananyagamina Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Padanu Chintanam
Mataji's
Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena
Chetasananyagamina
Paramam Purusham Divyam Yati Padanu Chintayan
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Abhyasa Yoga. In the practice of meditation.
In the practice of meditation.
Yuktena. Being engaged. Chetasa. By the mind and intelligence. Na anya gamina. Without their being deviated. Paramam, the Supreme, Purusham, Personality of Godhead, Divyam, Transcendental, Yati, one achieves, Partha, O son of Prita, Anchintayan, constantly thinking of. So he who meditates on me are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Partha, is sure to reach me. So again, purport by Srila Prabhupada ki. In this verse, Lord Krishna stresses the importance of remembering him. The key word here is remembering. One's memory of Krishna is revived by chanting the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna. By this practice of chanting and hearing the sound vibration of the Supreme Lord, one's ear, tongue and mind are engaged. This mystic meditation is very easy to practice and it helps one attain the Supreme Lord. Purusham means enjoyer. Although living entities belong to the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord, they are in material contamination. They think themselves enjoyers, but they are not the Supreme Enjoyer. Here it is clearly stated that the Supreme Enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different manifestations and plenary expansions such as Narayan, Vasudeva, etc. The devotee can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord, in any of his features, Narayana, Krishna, Rama, etc., by chanting Hare Krishna. This practice will purify him, and at the end of his life, due to constant chanting, he will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yoga meditation is meditation on the super soul within. Similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna, one fixes his mind always on the Supreme Lord. The mind is fickle, and therefore it is necessary to engage the mind by force. The word here is by force, to think of Krishna. One example often given. The kids can be allowed to go downstairs, please. If there's a classroom downstairs for the kids. Pay attention. Pay attention. That example given by Prabhupada is not a simple example. It's an example we get to see here. We ourselves, we get to see this. One example often given is that of the caterpillar that thinks of becoming a butterfly and so is transformed into a butterfly in the same life. Similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. Who studied biology here? Maybe I did study when I was young. You know the stages of caterpillar, larva, pupa, and then you become a butterfly. But this happened. We get to see that if you watch some Animal Kingdom. You get to see that. You get to observe that. It happens in this lifetime. It's not something that's happening after many lifetimes. Similarly, if we make a decision today, at this moment, we want to go to Krishna. we can achieve it in this lifetime. It doesn't have to be many lifetimes. It can be achieved in this lifetime. The key word here in this word is abhyasa. Abhyasa means practice. You know how many words Krishna repeat that word practice? Don't you think Krishna himself understand? You know, this meditation is not easy, but it can be achieved through practice. If we can go in the chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna again used that word to Arjuna. He says, Abhyasa tu kanteya. He said again, Arjun, this can be achieved through, what's the word?
Practice.
Practice. There's a word in English, they say practice makes perfect. But also there's another saying, perfect practice makes perfect. You know, when a plane, any plane, they're going to take off, say from Edmonton, they're going to land, I don't know, in Holland. They get a flight path. That's what the pilot follows. It's a truck. They have to follow that flight path. But do you know, 70% to 80% of the time, the airplane is off track, that flight path. The pilot tries his best, but because of turbulence happening in the sky, because of the wind blowing, so the plane is always off track. But what the pilot do, that's what he does in a cockpit. He tries to realign the plane back. Similarly, when we chant, Arjuna in 6.35, Krishna tells him that. But before, Arjuna said, you know, Krishna, to control the mind is not that easy. It's better to control the wind. He said, my mind is chanchala. Mine is like that. But again, when we chant, you will see in the beginning, like I said, we can make offenses, but when we chant, we have to focus on the holy name. If we chant slowly like this, you will even sleep. But if you chant loudly and you hear loudly, you will be able to chant properly. Now, why loudly? Krishna knows you can chant also, you know, gently. There's an example given. If I'm in a big crowd and I see somebody very important, I don't know, the mayor, and I personally know him. But because of the crowd, I cannot reach him. But if I cry to his name loudly, that person has no choice to turn back his neck or turn back his head and wondering, who is calling me? Similarly here. Well, when that person, mayor or important personality turn his neck to me, say I'm calling him, I don't get any feedback. Personally, he can hear me from far. But if Krishna turns his head and turns his neck to us, it's mercy on us. Remember that. So today, we're going to talk about 8.8. No, on 8.8, correct? But before that, look at those verses just before that. He says, anyone, 8.5, at the end of his life, quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. When Krishna said there is no doubt, we need to have faith. You know, when Prabhupada started this movement, his disciples was coming over. One of the disciple mother was about to leave the body. And disciple mum asked a question to his son who was already, he said, I'm leaving body now. Is your Krishna here? Then of course the mother left the body, but they went to report to Prabhupada. You know what Prabhupada said? Said, your mother is going back to Godhead because at the last stage in her life, she inquired, is Krishna here? Just by chanting these words, she has gone back to Godhead. But anyways, if we don't practice, do you think we can utter the name of Krishna? There are so many distractors. They say, oh Prabhu, you know, it's okay, let's just do what we do, you know, in the end, then when we become old, then we'll think of Krishna at that time. We can utter his name. But this statement of Krishna looks simple. You know, anyone who remembers me at the time of him quitting his body can attain me, my nature. Well, of that there is no doubt. It looks a simple statement. But those who do not practice, they will not be able to utter the name of Krishna. Remember this. There's so many people, when they leave their body, they say, what is this black dog? What is this black cat coming? And we know what body they are getting already, because that's what their state is at this time. But if someone leaving his body, he called a Hare Krishna devotee, like maybe the temple president, sometimes in hospital you go, Prabhu, right? And he goes and chants this holy name there. Just by hearing, even that person cannot do much, just by hearing, that person, destination changes and go back. So the question is, what is the position at time of death? When one leaves the body, how the process works. So Srila Prabhupada explains the process. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for this impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. To remember Krishna, one should chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami gave a very, very important advice to Parikshit. Parikshit was asking a question. As you all know, Parikshit has 7 days, 7 nights. He was leaving his body. So, that verse is there from the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.5. Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishvaro Harihi Shrotaya Kirtit Avyasyacha Smratayavyas Cheshatas Abhyayam. O descendant of Bharata, one who desires freedom from all fear should hear about, glorify and remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, who is the Super Soul and controller of everything. Shrotavya, the word here is hearing. Then the second one is Kirtit Avyavya, chanting and glorifying the Lord. And the last thing is Smritavya, remembering. This is in the very beginning of the second canto of the Bhagavatam. And if you go and read further Bhagavatam, in the seventh canto, when Hiranyakashipu asked his son, what did you learn? You know what Prahlad Maharaj replied? He said, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Hari, Smaranam. So if you follow the Bhagavatam, you see whatever is being repeated there too. There is a flow. The flow is Shravanam, is hearing. Then is Kirtanam, is chanting. In this Iskcon movement, in this parampara, 70% of our sadhana is just hearing and chanting. 70%. The other 30% might be Guru Seva, might be Arti. But 70% is our hearing and chanting. Now, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I'll come in that in the end, no problem. We'll go to another verse of the Bhagavatam, 1.9.30. You can pull that from the slide. 1.9.30. But before that, we'll continue about the verses of the Bhagavad Gita. We'll see 8.7, what 8.7 says. 8.7, Krishna says, Tatsmat sarvesu kalesu mam anushmara yudhyacha. So therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of being the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. I'll share a personal realization with you. Sometimes people might ask, I have my work duty, I have my children to take care, I have my family to take care. It's difficult, while you're working, to think about Krishna at the same time. I had a pupua, like an aunt. She's no more. She lived up to 90 years old. By the time she was 26 years old, she had 10 children to look after. At that time, no big help from the husband, no help from the, father-in-law or the mother-in-law. Now imagine yourself 10 small children to take care. One is waking up. One is feeling hungry. One, she had to attend for shower. She had 10 to take care. 10. Not 1, 10. She had a locker where she would put her Lakshmi. And she would tie the keys in a sari. But what time it happened that the keys fell off. And she was bound by her duty. She couldn't fail in her duty for her children. But she kept remembering, while attending to her duty, where did I leave the keys? Where did the keys drop off? So she was not failing in her duty. And even Krishna is saying, do not abandon your duty. Krishna made it clear. Continue your duty. But her subconscious mind, she was always thinking, where is that key? Where is that key? And then she remembered, oh, I went to a spot, let me go and check there. When she went there, that key was down on the floor, on the ground. So in the same way, when she shared that story with me, that's not a simple story. It's a story to help us connect. We all do a job here, but we can't think of Krishna at the same time. We all get a break. Who's the job who doesn't give us a break? We have to eat something. We have to drink something. Krishna says he's the taste of water. We can thank Krishna for that. We can, when we have time for a break, we have prasadam. We have to thank Krishna for this prasadam. So these are the ways you can think of Krishna. And subconsciously, if you're on a break, you don't have anything to do, you can chant the holy name. You can meditate on Krishna. This is the easiest way actually, to chant his name, to constantly chant his name. Srila Prabhupada gives an example of his Guru Maharaj. His Guru Maharaj, own Guru, would go next to a latrine where people will not distract him, where people will not come and disturb him, and he would go and chant the holy names there. He knows many people will not come there. That's the story that Srila Prabhupada explained. So we got this verse, 1.9.30. If that verse is there. I'll continue again. You know, we have forgotten Krishna. That's why we are fallen here. We are all petits here. You know the meaning of petite? We are all fallen here. And why do you think we are fallen? We've come to this material pool. I'll share a story with you. A mom with a small daughter, 3 years old. One day, the 3-year-old daughter decided, I want to have my own kitchen. I want to have my own kitchen. Please hear the story. This is not ordinary story. This is story that sages tell. I'm sharing this story with you today. So the daughter wanted to have her own kitchen, to cook her own food at the age of 3 years old. The mother understand that. The mother understand that. Out of her kindness, you know what the mother does? The mother gave her some toys. Like you know those oven toys, those plastic toys? The chalky belna. The mother said, go and enjoy yourself. The child tries to cook. In the beginning, she's very excited. She got those toys, she's gonna cook. But after some time, she sees no fire coming from the oven. She cannot produce any roti. And she became hungry. Then she started crying, Mama, Mama. And then the mother said, come, come, I've already made your roti, I've already made your food. This was just a stupidity of the child. A stupidity of the child that she wanted to enjoy independently from her own mother. And similarly for us, we have forgotten. We wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. We wanted to be our own controller, our own boss. There are various types of Ishvara in this world. You know, Krishna Prabhu might be an Ishvara. He's the temple president. But above Krishna Prabhu here, there might be a mayor in Edmonton. Above the mayor, there might be another Ishvara. He might be the Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. Carney. Now, reigning this whole world, I heard there's another guy, his name is Donald Trump. But Donald Trump, do you think if rain is falling, he can say, hey, please stop raining today? Please. Donald Trump has that power as an Ishvara. He cannot. Then there's an Ishvara, Indradev, who can stop that. There's so many Ishvara, Agnidev, you know, Pavan, Vayudev. And then among all those, there's another Ishvara. His name is Maheshwara. He's above all the demigods. He's their Dev, Mahadev. And above Maheshwara, there is another supreme Ishvara. Sometimes we use that word. His name is Parameshwar. Remember one thing today, Parameshwar is always perfect. All the Ishwaras will be they are not perfect, but Parameshwar is always perfect. So we are talking about him. I'll move on to the next verse. 8.9, one should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is the smaller than the smallest. I believe you might have a question here. You don't follow blindly. Prabhu, you are talking there. Prabhu, you at the back, you are talking here. You understand what is smaller among the smallest? Krishna says that. Do you understand? I think You had something important to say to your friend. But I'm asking you a question here from the Bhagavad Gita. I might not understand myself. Krishna says he's smallest among the smallest. Do you understand what that means?
I will answer you a little bit later because I have to listen more to you.
Okay, please listen then.
Yes.
Who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person, he is luminous like the sun, he is transcendental and beyond this material nature. Do we understand why Krishna says, I'm the smallest among the smallest? Sometimes Prabhupada said that when we study the Gita, don't study blindly, ask questions. And when I first came across this, I did not understand why Krishna says he's smallest among smallest. Do you know how small we are, Prabhu? Do you know how small we are? You, me, everyone here, how small we are? Do you know? We are 1/10,000 times the tip of a fossicle, hair fossicle. 1/10,000 times the tip of a tip. That's how the Atma is. And the Paramatma sits next to it. That's why Krishna said, I am the smallest of the smallest. You learned something today, Prabhu?
Yes.
Thank you. So this Krishna consciousness movement is educating this whole population, this whole world. That's why Srila Prabhupada is known as Jagat Guru. There is also Sadguru. So many people go and watch them, thousands of people. He was asked a question 2 months ago. Did you learn Bhagavad Gita? He himself admits, no, I have not learned. I have not studied Bhagavad Gita. But so many people go and listen to him. So many people go and listen to him. And then you just watch on YouTube. He cannot answer question. People ask him. He confused them more. But this sadhu here that you see, that we Iskcon devotees, we have 100% faith in him. It's just a matter of we reading his books, understanding what is there in the Bhagavad Gita, what is there in the Bhagavatam, and the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then we will realize where the truth lies. You know, when we sell diamonds, many people will not come because why? Diamond is expensive. But this sadhu is giving the real diamonds and for free. You know, when I was small, 5, 6, 7 years old, my father, you know those video cassette, long time back. My father had those things from South Africa. He brought in Mauritius. Many people didn't have that technology, and 2 of my father's friends was bringing a video cassette, and it was so fun to listening to a guru by the name of Krishna Murti. You've heard of Krishna Murti? You've heard? Actually, the first time I listened to Krishna Murti, he was saying life is like a battlefield from the time you're born. Good philosophy, but without any devotion. Without any devotion. And Krishnamurti, he went to America only to the rich. But Srila Prabhupada, you know how he started this movement? With 40 rupees in his pocket. And he went to those people who are suffering. And people is suffering in this world, whether we like it or not. Krishna says again, Dukhalayam Ashvasvatam. This place is a place of misery. There's 3-4 miseries. You know, Adidevik, Adibhautik, Adhyamik. And then, there's other 4 miseries I'm going to talk today. But again, you know, People are not attracted to devotional life. Do you know why? You know why people are not attracted to devotional life? Like right now, you have like 50 of you, very fortunate to hear. Because the material life looks so sweet. Our Guru Maharaj gives a perfect example. Have you ever eaten chewing gum? I believe you did. Prabhu, the first time you take a chewing gum, how did you feel? Good? No, I want you to say something. The moment somebody gives you a chewing gum, what is your feeling, the taste?
Sweet.
Sweet, very good. Who said that? Haribol. Material life is like that. Just like somebody gives you chewing gum, you feel sweet. And then what happens when you chew the chewing gum? That sweetness disappears. Then it becomes less sweet. Then it becomes, you chew, it becomes bitter. Then you throw it out. Similarly, you buy a new car. Yeah, the wife, honey, buy me a new car. You enter the dealership. You get in that car and there's a fragrance. You get attracted. You buy that car, 50,000, I don't know how much. And then after 1 week you come back. You say, I want to return the car. I decided to buy a new car. The price has already dropped from 50,000 to 40,000. You say, what? 50,000 to 40,000? The salesman told you, no, Prabhu, that was the cost of the dealership and the fragrance. Just kidding. But the material world is like that. It's very sweet in the beginning and then it becomes poison in the end. Why poison? Because those people who were saying in the old age we'll take care of devotional life, they've forgotten by illusion what awaits all of us in the end. There is old age, there is disease, and there is death. This is inevitable for all of us. Nobody can escape that. That's where the poison comes in the end. It looks sweet in the beginning, but by illusion we forget it. Krishna says, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Anushana. So, we should do the reverse. We should take to devotional life. It might look bitter in the beginning, but we will tell everybody, wake up in the morning, 5 o'clock, chant your rounds, chant your 16 rounds. You know many people will do that? You know many people will be attracted to that? No, very few people will do that. But of course, that is the process. Follow 4 regulative principles. Look what Bhagavad Gita says in the end. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, 18.36. A conditioned soul tries to enjoy material happiness again and again. Thus he chooses the truth. But sometimes in the course of such enjoyment, he becomes relieved from material entanglement by association with a great soul. In other words, when a conditioned soul is always engaged in some type of sense gratification, but when he understands by good association that it is only repetition of the same thing, he is awakened to his real Krishna consciousness. He is sometimes relieved from such repetitive so-called happiness. 1847, Lord Krishna speaks, that in which the beginning may be just like poison, but just at the end is just like nectar, which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. In the pursuit of self-realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind. The mind has to be controlled, and the senses has to be controlled, and to concentrate the mind on the self. All these procedures are very difficult. That's why many people do not want to follow. Bitter like poison. But if one is successful in following the regulations and he comes to the transcendental position, He begins to drink real nectar, and he is the one who enjoys life. Yes, Prabhu, you have a question before I end? That's okay?
Prabhu, like if we start this thing of doing meditation and doing chanting, it's poison in the first, but after that, is it easy in the end?
When the Samudra Manthan happened, what came out first?
Poison.
Poisons came out first. So, it is not easy in the beginning. But you have to go, you have to practice. I will take a verse in the Bhagavatam, and I will let Srila Prabhupada answer you all those questions you might have on that. The verse is there already? 1.9.30. I'll just read it because of time, and we'll see what Prabhupada says. So, like you know, in the Mahabharata, Bhishma Dev was about to leave his body, right? So Bhishma Dev sets an example for all of us. So I'm reading this verse 1.9.30. So therefore, thereupon that man who spoke on different subjects with thousands of meaning, and who fought on thousands of battlefields and protected thousands of men, stopped speaking, and being completely free from all bondage, now he's about to leave his body, withdrew his mind from everything else and fixed his wide open eyes upon the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who stood before him, four-handed, dressed in yellow garments that glittered and shined. Purport. I read this purport because this purport is based on what I spoke today in the Bhagavad Gita from 8.5 to 8.15. So purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada the king.
Yeah.
In the momentous hour of leaving his material body. You can see that? You can scroll. Bhishma Dev set this glorious example. Not for me, not for you, for all of us. Concerning the important function of the human form of life. You know, there is a society called Art of Living. You've heard of that society? Okay, but nobody spoke about the art of dying. Only Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Srila Prabhupada. They emphasize on that. Even Prabhupada went to a university one time, he questioned them, do you have a department that speaks about that? They were speechless. The subject matter which attracts the dying man becomes the beginning of his next life. You know, some people sometimes say, we live only once. You hear this saying? These is just fools, the ignorant. They don't know that there is life after birth, after death, and death and birth after death. Therefore, if one is absorbed in force of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, he is sure to go back to Godhead without any doubt. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 8.5 to 8.15. We read that today. So 5, I'll recapitulate now, and then I'll let Srila Prabhupada answer you everything. And whoever at the time of death quits his body remembering me, alone at once attain my nature, of that there is no doubt. I'll give you one personal example. 2 weeks ago, my wife is here. I was driving on white mud. There was a truck in front of us. That truck, you know, all of a sudden a chip from the tires, it came all over, and it was coming where my screen is, and I'm seeing that coming. I was speechless because that is happening. The truck is there, I am here. Okay, my car is here. And that chip, I see big chip coming, and it's coming just on me. Just on me, I was even on my eye. You know what I did? By reflex, my hands is on the steering wheel, and I just do like this. And the chips, I didn't know what to do, just deflected The screen didn't get anything. My wife was shocked. Did I get hurt? I said, no, Krishna saved me. You know what? On my windshield mirror, my car is there. I always have a Krishna picture there and Radha. Just hanging. Because I was doing pranam to Krishna and Radha at that time. Unknowingly. I didn't get time to take the name of Krishna. But unknowingly, I was doing like this. I was paying obeisances to Radha and Krishna in my car. And I told her about this experience. Because accident happened within a flick of a second. And my windscreen didn't get anything done. So if Krishna wants to protect, nobody can kill. If Krishna wants to kill, no one can protect. That is the faith we have. So 8.6, whatever state of one remembers when he keeps his body, that state he will attain without failing. Even in the Bhagavatam, they speak about Bharat Maharaj. He fought of a deer. He got the life of a deer in his next life. So whatever is spoken here is not we are giving just like whimsical knowledge. This knowledge is the king of knowledge. Raj Vidya Raj Guyam. Pavitra Vidam Uttamam. This is the crown jewel of education and knowledge. 8.7 now. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities and dedicated to me, your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without any doubt. You know, when Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityajam Ekam Sanam Vajaham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Shayemas Masuchaha. Krishna is saying, do not fear. But, you know, we would better put our warranty in Amazon. There is guarantee there. We will put money there. When Krishna is giving this guarantee, we are fearing. We have doubt. You know, Angad in the Ramayana, he was told to go and give a slow summon to Ravan alone. Angad said, me, Prabhu, me? He said, you. Angad was a bit doubting. How will I go and face Ravan alone? Lord Ram said, do not fear, I will protect you. You know, Angad, the moment he enters Lanka, all the demons got scared. They themselves withdrew. They thought Angad was Hanuman because Hanuman had come earlier and destroyed the whole Lanka with fire, right? So Angad got courage now. He said, they are scared of me.